One, two, one, two. Good afternoon. Hello, everybody. Wagwan. What's up? In the hizzies, in the place to be. Um, it is I, yesterling, back on stream with a rather interesting and unique beat making stream today. Because what we're doing today, I know I'm very, very behind the curve on this, but I just upgraded to Ableton 11, would you believe? From Ableton 10, which I loved very much indeed. Um, So I think today what would be a fun thing to do would be to have just a little bash through Ableton 11, maybe make a beat in this or something, and just kind of see how I get on with yeah, doing this just using this. I mean it should be really exactly the same as 10. But maybe a couple of the shortcuts won't be there that I'm used to, or some of my settings I might have to redo or something like that. But I know there's a couple of new instruments in this, so I'll make use of that. Um, I've got some new plugins. I'll use this. There's a couple of new things I see already looking at this interface, like up here, there's like a little section for grooves, which is interesting. I think that's probably to do with quantizing and that sort of thing. Phoebe Strength says hello, welcome in. Lovely to see you today, as always. I hear you've got a room full of tortoises going on right now, which is a mega vibe. One of them is headbutting my foot as we speak. Um, so they've got beef. They've got beef. They've got beef with the foot. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, just sort of have a little look around, just see what it's like. Um, so I think without further ado, I'm not really going to do this in a particularly uh, regimented way. I think I'm just going to start making a beat and then just see what we kind of come across. I will definitely make use of what we got. So in instruments, yes, drift, that's a new one. Drum synth, that's new as well. Um, all the rest of these are in a 10. Um, and this external instrument is a specific thing. Is that an instrument, or is that just? Yeah, no, that's a thing. Um, so I'll definitely make use of drift. I've heard good things about drift anyway. I've been sort of thinking of it as kind of like a simpler analog. Analog is a really brilliant synth in Ableton, but drift is just kind of like an easier, simpler way of doing everything. So I'm looking forward to that. That excites me. Um, let's see. I should just check. Has this still got my preset in? Yeah. Again, opening up on the wrong screen. Still haven't figured out a way to do anything about that. Um, it's an annoying like time waster, just like a thing opening here and having to move it over. Like I've always said about Ableton, if you've seen any of my shorts and stuff, like talking about it, it's all about like time saving. So even just like taking a couple of seconds to move a plugin from this screen to that screen over an entire like say 3 hour session, that's adding up to like minutes and minutes of you having to do that every time you open a plugin, and that's just getting in the way of what I'm feeling, to quote the great Jill Scott. Um, I actually get to play that song on a gig tonight, and I very much look forward to that. Anyway, so I'll be using Drift. I got an interesting plugin the other day. Just let me get a new MIDI thing up. Okay, good. That's still the same shortcut. Uh, Same to record. Yeah. Okay. Good. That's a I've actually specifically made a shortcut to record because I don't like the way that Ableton does it. So I don't know, maybe that was a thing in Ableton 10, maybe 11 has actually improved upon that. But something that I really want is a shortcut to arm and disarm recording. So again, I have to look into that because I'm not sure if like introducing new shortcuts is a thing that they do in different versions. I mean, it totally is, but like I want to click on this and then press a button and it arms instead of having to go over and do it manually. But yeah, this is all stuff I can look into. Anyway, so the plugin that I got the other day that I thought looked quite interesting. So still going to our plugin section. What's it under? That no. No. Maybe it's in VST actually. I've forgotten already what it's called. It's got to open the right one. Activation thump one. There you go. So get this going. Turn it on. Yeah. And this is I was just plugging in my MIDI keyboard. I had not done that yet. Now I need to just make sure there's no tortoises in the way or dogs before I move this. There's one over there, one's crawling towards, and then one is still having beef with my foot. So I'm good. Got the MIDI keyboard here, my beloved MIDI keyboard that I got off eBay for 40 quid. Bargain. Ah, look at that. Right, so it's again also a shortcut to change the monitoring of each one would be good. Okay, now that doesn't seem to be making any noise. Is that because it's off? Yeah. There you go. Yeah, so I want to use one of these noises because I think these are quite good. Gotta get rid of that portamento. Is that what this is? I don't know what the parameter is for that. I could believe it's that. Yeah, I believe it is that. Yes. All right, that confirms it. That is quite a nice sound. Let's make use of that. So, okay, first off, let's just get a tempo going and just put a little beat down on the recording. Yeah, fairly slow, I'm thinking. I feel like 88 has that. That's what I'm looking for. Also, I'd like the click to be on. Thank you. That's it. That last one. So E. So now these top things don't appear to be filled in with a colour, which is well, no, it is still, but it's just moulding in a bit too well into the background. Which is now what I'm really wondering is so far like all the same stuff that I'm used to doing is the same, which is good. Haven't come across anything yet that's like, oh, that's not doing what I want it to do. But you know, there's plenty of time. Plenty of time this stream. Okay, so we've got our beat up. Now what I was wondering is if now do we have like a bunch of like better sounds? I mean not necessarily better sounds, but other sounds added, you know, different sounds. Um, that's quite a nice kick. Hate that snare. Let's find a better one. Wow. There you go. Yeah. Okay. I'm already like again, I don't know if it's just like I've had these sounds all along, but only just come across them, or if they have actually improved the sounds in Ableton 11, which would be very welcome because I like to make my drum beats like this. All right, let's get this up. No, not drift. Sorry, thump 1. There's our drum beat. Sorry, our bass line. Let's just duplicate that. Get rid of loop. I said get rid of loop. Because on the recording going, put the bass line down. Okay. Again, that's not really as clear as I'd like it to be. Alright, cool. We got something going, we got something going. Let's see what drift is saying. Right. Okay, so this is just a default. Alright, so I guess you change the wave shape here. There's like a square inside. Okay, cool. This is interesting. Is that just showing us the wave shape? Oh no, that's the modulator. So how do we change that shape then? We just only select certain. I guess all the parameters are here. Filter, where you at? Right there. So is that an envelope on the filter or on just a sound? Okay, so maybe it is a filter on the envelope. Do that kind of vibe. Let's get the bass part back in so I can hear it. Sounded kind of nice, usually. Is there a way to select presets? Yes, look at this, what we got here. I think that may work after that kind of sound. Whoops, that's on the wrong instrument. Okay. So that's our line. All right, let's put that down. Then I think I'm going to scroll through some of these presets on a drift. As I've always said, the real key to synthesis when you're producing is not necessarily knowing how to make sounds from scratch, but knowing how to affect the sounds to sound like what you want. I think I've always felt is a better exercise than just learning how to make stuff from nothing, because it just takes a long time. What am I saying about time saving in Ableton? Right, game. Let me put this down before I forget that line. On the recording, go all the way over here. Definitely gonna look into a bit of a shortcut for that. Yeah. Might just need to. Slightly late. That's kind of the sound I'm after. Also, that's not where I wanted to place that note. Yeah. Might need to just play that in again. Yeah, it was like really quite early. Yeah, that's more like it. Alright, so I got this nice plugin the other day, Isotope. Yeah. I always wanted to hear what it sounds like on synths. That's what it looks like. Well, I think that sounds lovely. Now let's see what samples they're bringing. Hide. Yeah, so these are just sounds. What I'm after are like, oh, maybe that's what grooves are. Yeah. If these are just like percussion samples, then I am all for it. Seems to be just with the same instrument so far, so that's interesting. Okay. Well, the question is this audio or is this MIDI? See what happens when I drag this on. Okay. Now I think what happens here, right? Let's do a little experiment, shall we? Let's see if yeah, can that go, please? Yeah. Right. Okay. So these are MIDI grooves. So I've put this up here, duplicated it, and what I want is a hi-hat sound. So back to our drums. That works. Okay. Well, that's quite a cool little feature. So it just means instead of me playing it in and then fiddling around with it until it sounds nice, you can just find the like vibe that you like. Randomize this panel. So far, all good with Ableton 11. Everything's sort of going as I expect it to. Search. Oh, I have to get effect back up, don't I? Okay. Just want to get some bit of distortion going on this kick. Bit funkier. that's something I can actually set up. We've still got a drum bus, I do hope so. It's a bit of a tough one getting the bass and the kick to fit right, because they're both kind of quite thuddy. So I'm wondering if I can actually, bring the attack up might help with that. Whoa. Attack in this plugin appears to do something other than I'm used to. Trying to use it in the envelope sense, so the sound sort of like just fades in slightly. So that's interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's an intriguing plugin, but okay. Maybe I can actually put an envelope on it. There's a thing. Envelope follower? Is that what I want? If I get that up in this sound. This is something you mapped. I was kind of hoping that's just like putting an envelope on the sound. Is that what this is? This is a Max for Live device. Perhaps you could do something like this. Yeah. Again, you have to map it. It's like, really, what would you map it to? I guess the volume? And because this is a third-party plugin, you have to do that with this. So I'm just looking for level, I guess. Yes, right. Without? Oh, it's just affecting it quite a lot. That must be. Yeah. Not sure how I feel about that. If I prefer it with the envelope or not. So just going to play around with this envelope MIDI. Again, that might have been something that's in Ableton 10 this whole time that I've just never thought to look for. But I do like the idea of being able to put an envelope just on anything. Just kind of Ableton 12 thing, but I'm sure I remember talking about randomizing velocity. Chant, is that what this is? Oh yeah. Okay, so if I don't want to do that. Can I do this with all of them? That is basically what I'm talking about, randomizing the chart, the likelihood of these hi-hats happening. They always seem to be skipping out the same ones though. So let's say I always want that first one to happen. Yeah, I don't know, like, I can only really seem to do that by selecting them all and dealing with it, but I don't know. Let's say 100% chance all the time. Because I miss the feel, it's a bit too jagged when it just sort of drop out. What else could be randomised? Maybe we could randomise the we could put an LFO on the volume bit. That will kind of have the same effect. Interesting. Slow this LFO down a bit. Let's see now. Can I add something else to this? Let's get drift back up. Might even go far enough to say that I'll make drift my my default synth that appears, because I do love analog, but it's just a little bit complicated, and it would be cool if it was not. So yeah, drift. Here you are. And just the default for that. Why have all of a sudden got a bunch of latency now? Is this something that happens because of the multi-output device? I remember this happening last stream. Just let me try something. I'm just going to switch this. You won't be able to hear what I'm doing, but I'm just going to switch this to built-in output to see if that makes a difference. To the to latency, it doesn't. That's what I thought it would be. Okay, you're getting that again. Maybe you can hear on the mic. I'm meant to be hitting a key and then it's happening. And it's not due to the buffer size, because that's right up. So very makes making music very difficult. That is an interesting one. It seems like it sort of gets worse the longer that I'm doing, and I don't know if maybe that's got something to do with the fact I'm streaming at the same time. I swear that hasn't always been the case. There are now 2 tortoises at my feet. Not flexing, except I kind of am. That's interesting as well. It's the same with. Let's see if it's also the same with just a MIDI keyboard. Yeah, it is. I think it's something to do with the way that the audio is being routed. Not sure what, if anything, I could do about it now. Maybe there's something in setting. Overall latency. Output latency, 25 milliseconds. We want that to be 0, don't we? Maybe if I do this, if I get it to 0? Is that any difference? Doesn't appear to. Interesting. That. Well, I don't want the stream just to be me trying to figure out why I've got latency. CPU usage, 2%. It's in audio. So I don't have latency when like the click is happening or. I don't appear to have latency when I'm hearing stuff. It's just the MIDI. Definitely wasn't doing that earlier because I wouldn't be able to play this stuff in if it was. Well, that'll be a fun Google for me later on. Have a look into that. Something that's good about these streams though is that I tend to focus more on the actual processing of stuff as opposed to playing. So yeah, if the streams are focused on processing and not actually playing stuff in, then that kind of just bypasses that issue. But you know, I like to be able to just play something in as and when I need to, like now. Let's play around more with drift. Let's just see what we can find in here. So yeah, here's filter. Your envelopes, although it doesn't have anything to select what the envelope is going to. So that appears to be an amplitude envelope. Which means it's affecting volume. So I don't know in drift how you'd put an envelope on to the filter, for example. Maybe it's done in here. There's right, okay, no look. So if you select envelope 1, so now I've selected envelope 1 to affect the filter. It's a great sound. Yeah, interesting. Okay, cool. Right, so that is how that's working. Normally it's just set to velocity. Can you just turn the envelopes off? I imagine not. Get a bit of decay going. Slightly slower decay. Quicker. Okay, cool. LFO. Speed a bit. Right, okay, so there's a lot of synths are set up in this way. You've got like the actual module, but this is affecting the filter. Okay, cool, interesting. So put that down. Also here you can select other things to affect the LFO, I guess. Back up. Glides, that'll be like portamento. More. Oh, nice. So we have to turn it on. Maybe you have to put it to mono for that to work. That's something I don't like. I like when you can have portamento with chords. I think that's quite a vibey sound. Also, I've noticed, you know, a synth like this, it doesn't have. Can you make the envelope affect the pitch? That's something that I want to do. Yes. Okay. Envelope 2. Is right, I don't know that, so I think the release off. I don't want it to sort of like flick off into the sky. I just want it to hear that? That's what I'm after. So okay. Yeah, nice. Okay, I like that. I really like that about drift. It's an issue that I have with a lot of synths. Is like just trying to get a pitch envelope going. Now, if I do that with, I haven't even like played around the sounds yet. Sine waves. That's quite nice. Let's put that back up. Right, now I want a little bit of a pitch wobble. So we could do that with an LFO, could we? Mod wheel, key, pressure. Pitch modulation, LFO, turn that up. Yeah, you hear that? So now we make it slower. Still less, I want it to be really subtle. How could that fit in with his speed? that beat's kind of made. Well, there's one thing about this pitch envelope is it's like, okay, do you know what? Maybe I'm doing this all wrong. Let's put the decay and sustain back up. Put it in a positive thing, and then just use the attack. Ah. No, stop doing that. It's like I need to like turn off the release. See, so it doesn't do that in the end. Then if I have the release really long, I need to like set it to like re-triggering. That needs a little fiddle with, I think. Just sort of like looking to sort that out, really get my head around how that works. There's also a noise generator here. That's fine. That's right. Something that I do prefer. I liked the way that the pitch envelope was done in analog. Basically, not using an envelope. Envelopes are problematic. You only need attack and decay, I guess. You don't need, release is like complicating it. Maybe this is what I want. Is that affecting the pitch? I don't think so. See, that's just like a sort of other kind of LFO. I'm not quite right. Let's have to play around with that. There was a hardware synth I used to have with a great pitch envelope on. I think it was just attack and decay. Didn't have anything else. So it was just made these like slides up really, really easy. It's an absolute fun. And that is what I'm trying to do here, and I'm struggling because it's insisting on using a full envelope on it. I mean, this is my first sort of look, so really what I need to do is have a look at some tutorials with Drift. But it's definitely it's a good synth for show. For show curve. But yeah, really what I was hoping with this is it would just sort of have simplified everything in analog. Because I think that's what Drift is for. It's a similar kind of synth. Still got my latency issue. God, I really hope that's just not some sort of issue with streaming. That just because then there'll just be no way around it. I'm sure I had these issues before, actually. Can't remember what I did about it. Because I feel like I had these issues before when I was. It was back before I moved in with the future wife. No big deal. And I had like my audio set up in a different way. It's like I was streaming from the PC. Now I'm streaming from the Mac. Ah, shout outs to Phoebe's Tarantulas. Put a ring on it, didn't I? Yeah, so I was streaming from the PC. Obviously, Ableton was on my Mac. Now I'm streaming from my Mac, and I remember I think I sorted that out, but now I am listening to it directly from the source. What'll be good? I'll tell you what, that pitch wobble is just absolutely sublime. That's exactly what I'm wanting from that. That just sounds absolutely lovely. That's just a really nice sounding sine wave. Let me see if I can, let me play around a bit more with this. Right, envelope 2. Pitch. A little bit jagged. We smoothen out the decay. A bit quicker. Oh, that's perfect. There's one problem with this though, is it now means that because I'm using sustain for pitch, it means it's out of tune. Now my chords are up a third, or shall I say down a sixth, really. But that is a really nice pitch envelope. Yeah, there must just be a simpler, better way of doing it. It's got to be. I'll have to watch a tutorial for that. Figure out drift, get it under my fingers. I'm wondering what slide is now. Let's sack this off. Right, so now let's back at the key. Is slide. Not really sure what slide is doing here. I don't think that's got anything to do with slides, but that is like, see what it does to the waveform, which you can see here. I do like synths when it shows you the waveform. That's definitely a winner for me. But like this just kind of messes with. It messes with the waveform, so that's interesting. Let's just hear. How do I turn these oscillators off? Like that? Okay, so now I've just got a pure sine wave. Jagged triangle. Let's get a square wave up. That's a pulse. As much as I like it, we'll lose. Yeah. Lose pitch in the bow. We're doing that. And let's just hear what this does to the waveform. Makes it pulsy. What about these other waves? Basically like an FM knob, which is interesting. So instead of taking FM from another oscillator, you just bit of a wobble on that. Makes some great bass synths. Okay, interesting. That's on the saw. Slightly more sinister sounding triangle wave. What about the sine wave? Let's make this mono. We seem to be looking at bass sounds. Yeah, that's really interesting. FM knob actually seems to make loads of sense. Never really thought of it before. Okay, cool. What about this waveform? Not really sure what I'd call this waveform. It's sort of like a half a sine and half a triangle. That sounds absolutely great. On the sawtooth, of course. Let's introduce another one. Well, and what we need is for the LFO to modulate that. Now, can we do that? That would make like some nicest bass sounds. You hear that wobble? That's only doing that when I'm actually affecting the knob. Around there, that just sounds absolutely beautiful. Very sinister. Well, good job, Drift. That's very cool for that. I think that's covered everything. Just over here, Drift itself, I'm not really sure what that does. The designated Drift mod. You've actually got a little mod section here. Maybe that's just like an easier way to affect everything. I like that. That's another thing that both operator and analog didn't do very well, is actually where they kept their pitch bend range setting. So that's interesting. Yeah, all in all, I'd still say like a much easier synth to deal with than analog. I think what I might do is experiment with from now on, just making that my default Ableton synth to go to. Yeah, really interesting. Some interesting features, and I reckon that this synth would have been improved on with Ableton 12. They'll bring this up and like, slightly improve things. Ableton, please improve the pitch envelope system with this. Like, it's a bit nuts, sort of being like, yeah, you've got a pitch envelope, but you've got to have a sustain and release. You should just be able to turn them off. I've actually said this about envelopes for a little while. Like, just because you're doing envelope stuff doesn't necessarily mean you really need to be messing around with the sustain. You know, if you just turn it off and just the sustain was completely full, I reckon like it wouldn't really be that often that people turn sustain on, or at least me. That's how I like synth sounds to be, like just sort of starting off loud and then lowering in volume and then maintaining a volume can be useful, but I don't know, it isn't really what I'm always reaching for. Then again, that's just me. That's the yesty way. Um, Anyway, I think that's drift covered. So here I've just still got all of my stuff. Oh goodness, I don't have all my packs though. That is problematic. Push, I've never cared about the push at all. Oh no, it's sorry. No. Yeah, they all are. It's because I was searching for something. But I can update the ones that I've got. That's quite cool. I'll have a look into that. Probably got a few more available packs, maybe. I don't know, maybe not. I don't necessarily know if your version of Ableton affects the packs that are available. I think just the ones you pay for, the ones you pay for, and the ones that you don't are the ones you don't, regardless of the version of Ableton you've got. But updates looks promising. Kind of want to do this, but if I just click all of them, is it going to take like 3 days to do? I know, what's the biggest one? Granulator's got a 6 meg update. Latin Percussion's got a gig update. Oh, Electric Keyboards has got a 7 gig update. Well, that one's done already. So the ones that are less than a gig, I reckon let's just click on those right quickly because they'll probably be done quite quickly. The gig ones, I don't know. This isn't a great thing to be doing on stream, but just come across it. I'll come back to that. Okay, so I have still got all my packs. Still got all of like the samples that I'm connected to.
1.
Yeah, great. They're just all in the same place. You should still be able to take things out of other projects, which is great here. Okay, so really grooves and templates. I don't think I would find templates particularly useful. That looks like, oh, if you're doing something, it's like, here's Ableton's idea of how you could start that out. But, I've already got templates for stuff that I do in the default live set, like when I'm recording my voice for my videos and when I'm actually programming. Got those. So I don't think templates I really give much of a look into. Just see what happens if you open up. Got access to this. It's just like some sort of Ableton default things that maybe is quite demonstrative to somebody that's new to Ableton, which your boy is not. Fair few years deep. But I mean, having said that, this is just a reminder. This is my first play around with Ableton 11. It just seems very similar to 10. I was actually telling the missus earlier that I think Ableton had an interesting situation when they brought this update out. Because I mean, just speaking for myself, I just wasn't interested. Well, it's not I wasn't interested. That's not fair to say. But like, I had a look at 11 and was just like, I don't find myself, burning with desire for all of that stuff, and just didn't upgrade. I stuck on 10 for like the longest time. 10 is still, still installed on this machine. So I could just at any point open up 10 and just be doing stuff in 10 again. Maybe I'll do that for a bit. I don't know. It doesn't seem like 11 is vastly different. I was worried that doing the stream, I might try doing stuff and be like, oh my God, it's all changed. But nah, so maybe it'd be safe for me to get rid of 10, free up the space. Probably an idea. My bigger concern right now is figuring out this latency thing. Yeah, just can't be having that, but I'm not really sure what to do about it. Because if you look at Ableton, I think it's all to do with the audio itself. Ableton itself is happening in real time, but then just what I'm hearing is late. So it's like, I'm saying this is maybe an issue with my system. And that I'm really not sure what to do about. And I did that little experiment earlier where I just switched it to built-in output. I was worried it was to do with, the complicated routing that you have to do on a Mac, because it just makes it impossible to grab audio from itself. I don't know. I have to look into. I also have to look into like, what I'm. When I'm doing this thing, I can't actually hear stuff from. I can't hear stuff from the system itself because it's being routed into the stream, being routed into itself and not into the headphones. If that makes sense. But that's not really an issue when we've got this stuff going on, because I'd usually look through these, for example. Yeah, just on a on, what do you call it, desktop, whatever the equivalent is of that on Mac. But I can just listen to it through Ableton. So that's that problem solved. That's that fine. But yeah, latency is gonna be a problem. I'll have a look. Hopefully I've figured that out by next stream. And if I don't figure it out, then it just means I'll have to record stuff at the beginning of the stream before the latency gets bad. I've never done a stream longer than an hour and a half as well, so I don't know if it's like if I do a stream for 3 hours, does the latency get really, really bad? I'll have to check that out next time I'm doing just like a production session not on stream. And it's like if after a while I just start getting this latency, then yeah. I don't think it's that though. I think it's the fact that I'm streaming and doing Ableton, and it's just having a bit of a, it's putting a bit of pressure on the old audio outs. So yeah, leave that with me. Leave that with your boy. Does let me save this? I just realised I haven't. What are we saving it? Needs to be in Ableton. So go to desktop. Top Ableton. We need Stream Jams. Right. And what should we call this one? Let's call it Giant Tarantula. Like a huge one that's just like stomping about, knocking your house over. Take the click off. So what I'm going to do, I just want to hear this with a couple of different bass sounds. It's going to keep the original, but just have a little play around and see if I can find something a bit more. Because I do like that thump, but it's just, it's too similar to the kick for mine, and that is... This is just the presets. Just want something less plucky. Ooh. That's quite nice. Remember that huge thing that's called. Oh. How does that sound with the other part? I think I quite like that. How many more presets are there? Loads. I think I'll leave it like that. I'm going to keep the original sound because that wasn't bad, but that definitely doesn't interfere with the kick as much. Let me hear this with chorus. Woo. Yeah. I I think that's improved it significantly. Oh my god, go back to the beginning, please. Come on. Where the rappers at? We need one. I can't do it with this accent. Very nice indeed, though. Very nice. We don't need drift there. That was just experimental drift. Got our drums, or that's Yesti making a beat with ease on stream. First time in Ableton 11, no concerns whatsoever, really. I think what I might do is just have a little bash through some YouTube videos, just like big differences between 10 and 11, because there's probably just a bunch of stuff going on that I'm unaware of. But I'm hoping that something I'm really hoping they've done is kind of tweaked things so it's like less CPU intensive. I've been keeping an eye up here, and it's generally been around 40, 50. Which does seem to be an improvement like before. Using 10, I've definitely seen it get up a lot higher than that. But also, my CPU is being used a lot by streaming and by having OBS open at the same time. So, I'll have to keep an eye on that at a session when I'm not streaming. But I'm into that beat, and so far I'm into Ableton 11. Not into the latency issue, but I'm going to have a look into that and see what I can do. I fear that there's nothing to do about it. I don't know. Maybe I'll hit up some chat boards and whatnot. See if I can find some help from seasoned Ableton streamers that stream from a Mac. I'm sure they're out there. Can't be the only one. Anyway, what a lovely stream. What a fun time. Thanks so much to everybody that tuned in. Yeah, I enjoyed that one. I hope everybody has a lovely weekend. Hope everybody's well and good and healthy, and it's not as rainy where you are as it is here. All the best, y'all. This is Yesti signing off.